Hey, everybody. Have you ever asked yourself, are you 3 feet from gold? Well, maybe you have had some rank advancements in your business. Maybe you have had some success recruiting and enrolling your friends and family. Maybe you've had even some success doing some cold prospecting. But if you feel like that has dried up, put hashtag dried up, because that's where I was when I learned this a new strategy. And today we're going to talk about how to focus on your mindset to make sure that you don't feel stuck and give up when you're 3 feet from gold. So, do you feel like you're there? You know, that hashtag dried up. You may have all heard the story about 3 feet from gold in Napoleon Hills. I almost said Napoleon Dynamite. That is not the movie that we're talking about. We're talking about the book by Napoleon Hill, Think and Grow Rich. Um, in there, he talks about a story where he talks about R. U. Darby's uncle, and he finds this vein of gold. He heads back home to raise the money to buy the equipment he needs to actually go and mine this. Right? He's being an entrepreneur. He's finding a way to produce something, to be a creator, a producer. And that is what every entrepreneur is all about, is producing and creating something that helps them build their dream and helps other people to build their dreams as well. So as he comes back though, he's raised all the capital, he purchased all the equipment, and he starts mining this vein of gold ore. And he's just taken out cartloads, and they basically get to the point that they've got one cart full of gold left before they can pay off all of their debts. So they go home, they come back in the morning, and they start mining. And they start seeing that they just have dirt, and more dirt. And they've lost the vein of gold. You know, having your warm market dry up, having maybe that ramp to success that you may have seen as you started your business and then have things start to slow down, that can feel a lot like that. And you just want to make sure that you don't let the negative thoughts creep in. Well, the Darbys didn't do that either at first. They just kept pushing, and weeks went on, and they still had lost this vein of gold that was producing the income that they needed to pay off their debts, and ultimately they wanted to build wealth for their family. So you get to that point and you lost the vein of gold. You lost your stream of prospects where you're able to put them through your sales funnel. Well, what now? What do you do? Do you start cold prospecting? Do you start online prospecting? You know you've got to fill that pipeline because you've had some of that success, but you've got to figure out a way to keep that going. That's where I was at, especially when everything shut down. All of my ways to find new prospects, once I burned through my warm market, was face-to-face meetings, going to meetup groups, meeting new people, interacting with them, making new friends. And that just poof, went away nearly overnight for me and for Jill as well. So, what now? Is it time to give up? So instead of saying, oh, I can't do that, the entrepreneur's secret weapon is, how can I? How can I go solve this challenge? What might I do differently that might have an effect on this? You start asking questions, getting curious, because curiosity is the beginning of the next phase of your business. So, what happened with this mine that we're talking about in this story with the Darbys? Well, after weeks of nothing, they decided to give up. They just gave up. And they found a local junk man in the area where the mine was. They sold all the equipment, and they just took a train back home. They left. Well, this junk man realized that, hey, they had been having some success, but he realized that he needed skills that he didn't currently possess. He needed skills that somebody else might possess, though. So you can either do one of two things when you realize you don't have a certain skill set. You can learn it, or you can pay for it. So this junk man, he decides he's going to go out and hire an engineer that is familiar with mining. And this engineer goes and he calculates, and he basically points this junk man that bought all the stuff for the mine in the direction of where he believed the vein of gold was. And it turns out when he started digging, they were less than 3 feet from gold, from continuing that gold vein. This junk man went on, once he found that vein again, he went on to mine millions and millions of dollars worth of gold out of that mine, because he realized he needed skill sets that he didn't currently have, and if he didn't want to learn it, he went and hired it. That's the investment that you're making. Is you're either making an investment in your own head, between the 6 inches between your ears, or you're making an investment by bringing somebody else onto the team to fill the gaps where you may be a little bit lacking or rusty or whatever. That doesn't mean that you can't continue to learn it after the fact, but sometimes you need to bring in that outside opinion, that outside view, that outside voice, that outside skill set to begin to move things forward. So what does that mean? What about the Darbys? What did they end up doing? Well, remember, they were still in debt. They didn't get that last cartload of gold that they needed to pay off all their debts. So when they went home on the train, they got a little bit of cash from selling the equipment, but they still worked diligently to continue to pay the debts that they owed. And the Darbys actually used that lesson right there, seeing this junk man that they sold everything to, as the catalyst to realize that they were never going to give up. They were never going to surrender to doubt again. They were going to just keep being persistent, keep being tenacious. It reminds me of the book, I lost it for a second, the book Atomic Habits by James Clear. And in that book, he talks about the valley of disappointment. Whereas entrepreneurs, we think that we're going to climb up this ladder on this straight line and it's just going to be steady going as we work to build our business. But in reality, what we're going to see is we're going to see kind of a flat line down here at the bottom, and then it's going to start slowly curving up, slowly curving up, slowly curving up. And at some point, those two lines are going to cross, but it's going to keep going, because the success in business comes mostly on the back end. After you have put your blood, your sweat, your tears into your business and fought for your business, fought for your success. But the problem is that spot in the middle where you think you're supposed to be here, but you're kind of sitting down here on this curve, that spot right here in the middle, that is the valley of disappointment. And just remember, the people that are successful, they just held on longer than anybody else. That doesn't mean that they didn't adjust their strategies. Always be looking for solutions. Always be looking to maybe level up your solutions, bring in new skill sets, whether that's you learning new skill sets or you hiring new skill sets, or even finding new people on your team that have a skill set that can complement what you've got going on. So just remember, when you are that 3 feet from gold, when you're sitting in that valley of disappointment, just keep going. When you do that, that one thing can be a game changer in your business, knowing that you are capable. So what I would like you guys to do is, if right now that resonated with you, if you are feeling stuck in your business because all of your leads, all of your prospects, they just dried up, go ahead and drop stuck, #stuck below, and I will reach out to you with some information, or shoot us a message and we can have Jill and I hop on a Zoom call or something with you guys, and let's talk about maybe some ways that you can get your business moving forward. So go ahead and do that. Drop hashtag stuck below or shoot us a message, and we will reach out to you personally, and let's see what we can come up with. What solutions can we find to get your business progressing? All right. Thanks, everybody. Have a great night.